The World War. Danger for all. The invasion of Ukraine by Russia. Tough defense for the people of Ukraine. Which country will win? Ukraine or Russia? Which one is more powerful? Ukraine or Russia? Can Ukraine defend itself? Are Western countries helping Ukraine? In the following, stay with us to answer all these questions. Hello, and welcome to Master Facts channel. Today we came back to you with a different video. Before we go to the video, I need to say that if you are interested in this series of content, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so that you do not miss future videos. War is a familiar word to man. From the day he set foot on Earth, man has been involved in various wars and conflicts, sometimes to survive, some other times for defense, and in most cases, for power. In this video, we've decided to compare the military powers of Russia versus Ukraine based on the attack that took place in Ukraine for the past few days. I hope you pay attention. The Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered an attack on eastern Ukraine, prompting a global response to the crisis in the region. The nature of the conflict between the Russian and Ukrainian armies has attracted the attention of the international community. The Ukrainian military has been different since joining Russia without the Crimean War and bloodshed in 2014, and is expected to look different in future clashes with its eastern neighbor. Nowadays, Ukrainians have a better equipped army and they're more motivated to defend the heart of their country. What does the numbers say? In the current conflict, Russia has deployed about 100,000 troops at the eastern border and inside Ukraine. It is reported that several Russian troops have been transferred to Belarus for military exercises. Research from an International Institutes of Strategic Studies found that Russia has 280,000 personnel, which along with other Russian armed forces will form a team of 900,000 personnel. Except for the current number of Russian troops, the number of Russian reserve forces is 3 million. But Ukrainian forces in the eastern region of Donbass have been fighting the Russian separatist insurgents since 2014. Gaining military experience and maintaining readiness to use modern US-made military equipment provided by Kiev-supported forces. According to the Ukraine Prime Minister, the new actions of the country and the new orders of the president have increased the number of Ukrainian troops and armed personnel to 361,000. In addition to the army, Ukraine has volunteer units for the defense of the regions and about 900,000 military reserves. Most Ukrainian adult men have undergone minimal military training and they may resist Russian aggression if needs be. The new orders of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky have strengthened defense capabilities, increased the attractiveness of military service and the gradual transfer of professional forces to the army. Ukraine's military challenge against Russia is way more difficult than previous Russian wars since the collapse of the Soviet Union. This conflict, in comparison with the Russia-Chechnya War in the 1990s or with Georgia in 2008, is not incomparable. Apart from this, the Western and European countries will be sending military aid to Ukraine, which can be very useful in the current war. At the end of the video, we will try to talk more about the aid that has been provided to Ukraine so far, based on research by International Institutes of Strategic Studies. The number of Ukrainian tanks reaches more than 2,500 vehicles, whereas the number of Russian tanks is more than 12,400 vehicles. So far, the number of Russian tanks is several times more than Ukraine. But Russian sources say that the number of tanks in their country is equal to 22,000 vehicles, and this difference is very large. Which means that Russia has twice as many tanks as NATO. The number of fighter jets in the two countries is also very different. Ukraine with 67 fighter jets and Russia with 1,531 Sukhoi fighter jets made by Russia. It has a very high air power. And one of Russia's biggest advantages over Ukraine is its high air power. The number of helicopters that Ukraine has is 34 and the number of Russian helicopters is 538. This is also a large part of Russia's high air power. The number of armored vehicles in both countries is relatively high. Ukraine has more than 12,000 armored vehicles, and Russia has more than 30,000 armored vehicles. The number of towed artilleries in Ukraine is more than 2,000 units and in Russia is more than 4,400 units. Which in the current war a significant amount of the same artillery has been used. The number of Ukrainian warships is only 13. While the number of Russian warships is equal to 214 warships. Military analysts say that Ukraine's air defenses are weak, making it vulnerable to possible Russian attacks on critical infrastructure. They say Russia with its superiority in electronic warfare seeks to paralyze command and cut off Ukrainian officials from field units. But on the other hand, Ukrainian forces have been fighting Russian-supported separatists in the eastern Donbass region for years. Thus they have gained a lot of experiences and they are highly motivated. The Ukrainian military is also equipped with the US Javelin short-range air defense system and anti-tank weapons, which will help reduce any Russian advance. Although Ukraine has increased its defense budget rapidly since 2010. From about $1 billion to more than $5.9 billion. According to the International Institute for Strategic Studies. This figure is still a significant gap from Russia's $61 billion a year defense budget. As current. So far, we have dealt with issues that both countries have. But in this section, we must talk about the possibilities that only Russia has. Yes, you guessed it. Atomic power. Russia has the world's largest nuclear power with more than 6,000 nuclear warheads, only 20 of which are enough to destroy the entire Earth. And that is always a nightmare for world powers. At this moment, we wish that mankind would never use these weapons because the result will be nothing but catastrophe. You may not believe it, but Ukraine was once the third largest nuclear power in the world. Thus in a deal it handed over its bombs to two major world powers, the United States and Russia, to provide security for Ukraine. And what is strange that one of the same world powers has attacked Ukraine. But that is not the whole story. Russia has a special type of missile other than nuclear power, which it calls the Invisible Devil. According to Russian officials, the missile has a range of 22,000 kilometers. And you should know that the farthest point from Earth is 16,000 kilometers away, and it may be hard to believe, but this bomb is 40 times more powerful than the Hiroshima-Nagasaki bomb, and none of the current radars can identify it. Russia is threatening the West with this terrible weapon. What is the world doing to help Ukraine? Western countries have increased arms deliveries to Ukraine. But Kiev says that it needs more weapons. The United States has denied sending troops to fight in Ukraine. Also, it has provided more than $2.5 billion in military assistance to Ukraine since 2014, including anti-aircraft missiles, coastal patrol boats, sniper rifles, reconnaissance drones, military vehicles, radar systems, night vision systems and radio equipment. Further weapons could include Stinger air defense missiles, small arms and boats. Turkey has sold several batches of Bayraktar TB2 drones that it set up in Kyiv against Russian-supported separatists in eastern Ukraine. In January, Britain delivered about 2,000 short-range anti-tank missiles to Ukraine and sent British specialists for training. They have also given Saxons armored vehicles to the Ukrainians. Estonia has also sent several Javelin anti-tank missiles to Ukraine. And Latvia and Lithuania are sending Stinger weapons to Ukraine. The Czech Republic has also announced that it will deliver 152mm artillery shells to Ukraine. Germany has denied arms deliveries to Ukraine but is funding a $6 million field hospital and providing training to the Ukrainian military. Finally, we wish that the world would be a better place and that one day we would not see devastating wars. I hope the information in this video is useful to you. What do you think? Share it with us in the comments. We hope you enjoy watching this video. Before I say goodbye, if you found this video interesting, kindly like the video. Also subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so that you don't miss out on future videos. We wish you health and happiness until the next video. Thank you so much for being with us until the end of the video. Goodbye friends.